nodes would be specific things that students talked about, potentially. So they may say something like, oh, I noticed that this is a problem, and it requires some sort of technical solution. Okay, so they may be talking in sort of engineering terms. Okay, I see a problem, I'm looking to solve that problem with some sort of design. Or they may be talking, you know, if it's an engineering problem that they're dealing with, they may be talking in real immature terms, okay, that don't really, aren't reflected in, I guess, what their mentor's mental map would look like. But each one of these nodes would be some sort of descriptor of something they said as they logged, or something they logged during the activity that they did, right? And those things would be connected by these lines, and some of them would probably not be connected like you see out here. Okay, so the way the connections that take place in these mental maps, or in these maps, is that if they're clustered together in the logging activity itself, okay? So if they talk about two of these things in the same paragraph, we would say those are connected in concept, okay? And they would get connected by a line. And then if they ended up, you know, just talking about something at the end of their logging and it didn't really seem connected conceptually, it might actually end up just kind of hanging out on the outside of the map. Okay. We would do this over a time sequence. So this is where it gets a little confusing, but we do it over a time sequence. So we would see one snapshot at the beginning. One of these things may be hanging out here. We would do it at another time, the time would go on and on and on, and we'd have all these mental maps laid out, and it would be changing. This map would be changing. The way it looks physically would be changing over time. So that would be interesting. How did it change? Did they start talking about this particular item more often or not? Okay, it may be something we see. The other thing we can do is take, if we have 10 mental snapshots over time, we can actually collapse those into one, combining all that data into one and seeing how that map then transforms as you get more data in the data set. So this particular node, this particular item may have been talked about multiple times, and therefore it would sort of get drawn to the center or end up with more connections. Okay, so the map would be also interesting if you combine the data across the time sequence to see what you see. All right. And then again, like I said, how does it look compared to the mentor's map? I think actually these are maps created for a different purpose, but so ignore all this text down here. Okay. But this may be the student's mental map, this may be the expert's mental map over a time sequence. Okay, so what's going on here? Why is the student not developing stuff down here? What is the mentor doing down here if the student isn't doing it this time? All right. So that's kind of the concept that this research group has been working on, and the concept I'm trying to bring into analysis and understanding of what's going on in these innovation projects. So questions, ask other questions.
So do you have to have a mentor's map to compare?
I don't think you do. I think we may still learn stuff. I think you may learn more, potentially. I'm not sure. That's sort of my hypothesis. You may learn a little bit more if you have a mentor, and you were to be able to map their mental activity over a period of time. You may be able to learn some different things. But you may be able to show growth just among a student. You know, over time you may be able to show some growth as the student progresses through an activity.
We're thinking it will be beneficial to the research, though, because of the world we live in, if people could see that students' mind becoming more and more like the mentor.
Just need more mentors.
Yeah.
Are you short on mentors?
Yeah, we signed you up, but after that, yeah, we still...
So is that one snapshot, like one writing that you would get, or is this 10?
This right here?
Yeah.
This right here is a completely different project. It's just done with the same mapping process, basically, that we would use in this